do a little cleanup from the end of last week. Hopefully everybody had a terrific weekend. All right, and this information here, if you're in the United States, definitely should have helped you kick that off, because of the three prongs of Biden's vaccine mandate, the only one that's left is the healthcare worker one, and we're gonna see how long that one lasts, because there's a lot of hospitals and a lot of clinics out there that are reporting shortages. Don't know why or anything like that, but yeah, no, that's fucking. We're just gonna see in this game of chicken, this proverbial game of chicken that is going to be played out here. We're gonna see who's gonna end up blinking first, because everybody else has fallen by the wayside, and now you have the federal worker side of it, which is like the place where Biden has the most jurisdiction for his executive orders, for his vaccine mandate in chief. This is the only place where he could really, have the authority to say, in order to work for me, theoretically, okay, working for the federal government, even either directly or through contract work, okay, you have to be vaccinated in order to work for me, okay? You have to wear funny hats in order to be working for me, okay? He could theoretically lay out that groundwork, but not even this got by the courts, okay? It wasn't even justified by them, so I don't know what the fuck is left on this one. Everybody is sick and tired of all of this nonsense, man. At this point, it's just fucking garbage, okay? President Joe Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for federal employees was blocked by a judge in a federal court. Biden does not have the authority to impose such a mandate, U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Brown wrote in the 20-page ruling obtained by the Times. Federal employees say the president may prescribe regulations for the conduct of employees in the executive branch, and the government lawyers argued that the act of becoming vaccinated is plainly conduct. What? No, that okay. Interesting. The judge, though, sided with the plaintiffs, who asserted that conduct cited must be workplace conduct for him or her to regulate it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, it's another one. It's the exact same situation when it came to just the private business side of things. It's like, okay, the vaccine, you can't undo it as soon as you can't be vaccinated from the hours of 9 to 5 or whenever your federal employment is. Okay, but can't just put it on in the morning and take it off at night. Okay, it doesn't work that way. You, by de facto, you're just saying that every hour of the day, in order to be a beneficiary of tax dollars, okay, you need to do something that's going to alter your life forever. Never been done before, and it looks like that standard is going to continue out there. So, is submitting to a COVID vaccine particularly when required as a condition of one's employment, workplace conduct? The answer to this question becomes a lot clearer after the Supreme Court's ruling earlier this month. Brown said, referring to the Supreme Court's recent finding that the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine for private businesses appeared to fall outside the powers as conferred by Congress. The Supreme Court has expressly held that a COVID vaccine or mandate is not an employment regulation, and that means the president was without statutory authority to enforce a federal worker mandate. Interesting. Yeah, because it was notable when those oral arguments were 3-4 weeks ago at this point. Can't quite remember, okay? There was an advocate on the side of the private business, and then there was an advocate for healthcare worker, but there wasn't for the federal, okay? So now's your ruling, and if it gets kicked up to the Supreme Court, they can just go ahead and point to their previous federal worker employee ruling, because it looks like the same type of justification is being used for this. So sucks to suck, Joe, but that ain't going to be the last time, unfortunately, that we're going to be talking about this withered old fossil. But we're going to stick on the idea of forced vaccinations, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, a mandate because we're all in this together, or whatever the fucking talking points are at this point. But look at the turnout here, okay? And I've seen a couple of screenshots from other places, like in Toronto. I've seen a huge turnout there, thousands of people there, once again protesting the mandatory vaccinations, okay? Protesting whatever the fuck it is at this point, forcing you to do something that you don't want to, all in the name of what at this point? Because which of these mandates, can anybody point to any of these mandates that's actually stopping what they're purporting to do? Okay, mask mandates, I don't know. Vaccine mandates, again, they just keep getting shot down like a good thought escaping Joe Biden's mouth. It's just nothing that's really holding water at this point, okay? Leave it up to the states, okay? That's within the state's purview and for another court to decide, okay? Obviously, at the federal level, it's not really holding any weight. Every single time that you go to enforce one of these fucking things, they just keep getting struck down if given enough time, okay? they lay the groundwork, and then they just say, it's kind of a wink and a nudge. It's one of those old, oh, Trump liked to use dog whistles. Well, it's one of those exact same things fucking happening here again. Okay, listen, we know that we're trying to enforce this at the private level, but you know, if we just float out this idea, eventually somebody will, you know, point to that and say, oh, look at the federal government's talking about it, that means that we can go ahead and enforce it on our workforce. So my theory on all this stuff is, once all of the stuff at the governmental level finally gets fucking sorted out, then you're going to be having a whole bunch more lawsuits. And unfortunately, that might be the big overarching story of the year here. Just ironing out the private sector and telling them what they can and can't do when it comes to violating, well, some of your constitutional rights and your right to medical privacy. That seems to be the next step in this evolution. Once we get past these massive, protests that keep going on, well, really right now around the world, and it looks like they're kind of working, it really does, sort of, because you're getting a bunch of other walkbacks or just full dropouts. France is futzing around with their regulations on this right now, all in accordance with what the UK did at the end of last week, dropping pretty much everything. And then by Thursday, most, if not everything outside of weird quarantine regulations are just going back to normal, which is what many other places around the world should be doing. And it looks like they figured out, the people that is, that if you don't let up on this one, you'll eventually whittle down the government, and thank fucking God, So let's take a look at this. A big protest that's down there, Defeat the mandates. Thousands protest in Washington against vaccine requirements. Thousands of people turned out in Washington to march in protest against COVID vaccine mandates on January 23rd, one of the largest U.S. events that the protest held against the mandates since the start of the pandemic, starting at 12:30 p.m. local time. Thousands of people marched around the Washington Monument to Lincoln Memorial, with many holding signs decrying regulations, vaccine passports, and mandates. Some criticized the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. Yeah, that, you know what, like I said, a lot of them have been undermined, or a lot of the substance of the mandates have been undermined, but they've been taken up by private industries, just thanks to Joe pushing the conversation forward, seeing how far these private businesses can go. And people, well, they're just kind of tired of it. In recent weeks, cases have skyrocketed in areas that have high vaccination rates. Yeah, funny fucking thing about that, but just get your jab because it's safe and effective. Once again, casting a shadow on the effectiveness of the shots. No, you're just being anti-vax or whatever. I don't fucking know. Who cares at this point? And a recent Center for Disease Control and Prevention study suggested that natural immunity is superior to vaccines against the Delta variant. I had that article pulled up, but yeah, that's something that I feel like has been batted around for a long enough time where it just kind of seemed like, yeah, isn't that what it is? Once a variant just seems to go away, or once they can just start to move on to something else, more obvious information just seems to come to the forefront. And it took the CDC, Omicron, and whatever you can fucking hang your hat on there. They've moved on from Delta. Delta's not coming back. Stop trying to make Delta a thing. It's not going to be a thing. That's not how any of these cases go. Or that's not how this virus or classifications. This is not how the COOF works. I haven't seen a resurgence of the UK, the Alpha variant, the Japanese, Brazil, any one of those. So far, we've had multiple different waves fueled by multiple different variants that are out there, but none have come back. It's all an evolution on the virus, and as we know with past virology experts coming out and saying that, yeah, this is kind of the natural lifeline of a virus that will eventually be moved to endemic status. It's like, yeah, it starts out as bad as it's going to be, and eventually it just gets more transmissible because it wants to perpetuate itself, but it has to shed symptoms and severity in order to continue on. That's what we're seeing now with Omicron, because do we need to go back and we need to take a look at the different symptoms that you get when you are in fact infected with it? It looks an awful lot like just a really stiff cold. And that's what we're shutting the world down over? That's what we're forcing the vaccines into people's arms over? I don't think so. Who was speaking? Anyways, back to this Defeat the Mandates protest, which was incredibly well attended, And they had a whole bunch of speakers that were down there, So it looked like quite an event, I guess. Former NBA star Kwame Brown, who has been based out of his fucking mind lately. I forget, he was taking a dump on LeBron James for something in the summer. I can't remember. He was giving all of those incredibly red-pilled interviews from like inside his car, taking a dump on guys like Stephen A. Smith, and he might have been a huge bust in the NBA, but man, he definitely has another life in public speaking. He was frequently criticized vaccine mandates on social media, told the Epoch Times that he attended because I think we got to go back to compassion for our fellow man and woman. Oh yeah, you don't see that from the other side of this, okay? Most people just kind of just want to go back to light, or yeah, go back to regular life, be like the UK and just click on the lights. Time to go back to normal. But you don't see that from the other side. They just want you to get the jab, shut up, and be as subservient as them, because I constantly think, okay, what's the argument from the other side? Okay, from the very pro-vaccine, okay, the forced vaccine side of this, because that's the divide at this point. People who just want to be left alone, and then the people who will not leave you alone. So what's their argument? Okay, what is their justification for all this type of stuff? Okay, everything that they're going on is based off of bad information. Okay, you get the jab, automatically you stop spreading it, and it's like, no, that doesn't work. Okay, that's been proven to not work, and that's the fucking science that's out there, the science on it, right? Okay, you can't die from it, obviously. Like, come on, let's take a look. You can't die if you get it and you get infected. Okay, whatever. Clarification. Remember, I'm a doctor. Whatever other retarded shit you gotta fucking say to keep shit up on YouTube. Whatever. To consult your doctor and dumb shit like that. Who fucking cares? And again, with a vaccine. Okay, so you get the vaccine and then you can get one of these breakthrough cases where it's kind of just making up for most of the cases that are out there, but they're mild when you get them. So it's like, okay, cool. So just call it a symptom suppressor at this point. Okay, fine, a fucking mitigator, a treatment, whatever. Okay, you get the jab and whatever. You're going to have weaker symptoms. You're going to have just a better time dealing with it, and you aren't going to be dropping dead. Well, guess what? People are fucking dropping dead, okay? So again, what's the justification? Okay, if people want to have a rough time with it, not saying you're going to, because I got the fucking original strain or whatever was going around in November of 2020, and I was a little tired for like a week, and that was about it, okay? But then again, not everybody's like me, and we figured out what actually works when it comes to once you are infected with a coof. It's almost like living a healthy, moderate lifestyle is probably something that, you know what, people should be looking into. But no, we can't be telling people what they should be doing with their life. We should just be telling them what they need to be putting into their arm, right? Fuck off. People are being put out of work over mandates. Kwame Brown, we're going back to him, what he has to say. Okay, he said on January 23rd in Washington, people are not being able to go over to their family and friends' house. Okay, again, don't point out the good things about this stuff. I think everybody should have the right to choose whether they want to do it. And that's what America is supposed to be about. Pretty basic take, but pretty based take. And again, just another perspective of the amount of people that were out there, and not a small crowd, okay, made Biden very, very jealous. Dr. Aaron Kahardi, I think I might be saying that right, who was fired 3 weeks ago from the University of California, Irvine, one of those fringe epidemiologists, right, for challenging the school's mandatory vaccine policy, told the Epoch Times on January 23rd, Americans need to recover our right to assembly and our right to public spaces. I think the most important thing about this event is that that it is a public event. And it's an opportunity for all of us to get together in solidarity and love for one another, to speak up against coercive mandates, to let doctors be doctors without other entities coming between a doctor's own medical judgment and caring for his patient. Yeah, it wasn't the only doctor who was there as well. In fact, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dr. Robert Malone, was out there talking to the tens of thousands of people. Okay, I don't necessarily know a head count on that. All I know is that you can take a look at some of the pictures that are there, and I don't think 20,000 is really off the mark, really, because take a look how far back these people go down the sidewalks, down the reflection pool. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say that's out of reach, but what did the good doctor have to say? He addressed tens of thousands who marched Sunday on the nation's capital to protest the vaccine mandate. I ask you that you allow me a moment to speak to you about our children and about our fundamental responsibility to protect them, Dr. Malone said about the massive crowd. If nothing else, we must nurture and protect our children. It is a job one. It is your job, it is my job, and it is a job to protect us. During the past 2 years, our society and our public health response has failed to protect them. Yep, by robbing them, and just like everybody else, but during their developmental years, robbing them of 2 very important years of proper socialization, okay? Proper educational development, because it's been stop-started every avenue, regardless if you're homeschooled, private schooled, public schooled. You've been in a classroom, you've been out of a classroom, you've been stuck at home, you've been out in a park. It's the parts of 3 fucking years have been affected. When's enough? Okay, are we finally through the end of this? Is this going to be the first quasi-normal year? Probably not, because it's already gotten off to a rough start, and we're already halfway through this year, so I don't know. Here's hoping for the fall of 2022. Retarded. Many things about our public health system have demanded we do to our children has directly harmed them. Self-harm, suicide, and drug abuse in children have taken off around the world. That is 1000% true, and something that we've talked about quite a bit, and you guys probably can realize for yourself. Anxiety, bullying, intimidation, coercion have become the norm. Measure IQ for the very young has dropped. Yeah. Malone continued, stating how media and big tech push narratives about the distorted public policy in regards to the coup. I sincerely believe that we can break through the effects of the madness of crowds. The effects of the legacy media and big tech promoted fear and psychological manipulation, which have a deeply distorted public health policy. Yeah, pretty much. It's just telling you you're gonna die around every fucking corner, okay? And in actuality, you take a look at the numbers and you just realize that you're not really rolling the dice when you have a 0.0 whatever% chance of fucking dropping dead from this, if you do in fact manage to catch it. It still sucks and it's still terrible, but closing off everything on the off chance that somebody who's really sick ends up fucking dropping dead, I don't know, man. It doesn't really seem to check out for me. But one other thing that we found, because yeah, there were a lot of speakers that were there, and yeah, okay, it's all done, it's all dusted. We'll see. We'll fucking regroup again next week. Let's see what happens out of it. But got a good meme out of it. Okay, looks like AOC was down there at the protest or something like that. An unidentified woman is going viral after the video was posted of her screaming at the anti-mandate protesters, and I'm glad that we have a new screaming SJW, because I was kind of getting tired of that broad from Trump's inauguration. Okay, and, you know, in the lime green jacket. Okay, with the fucking toque, but now you got Spurg and the faux fur. Sweet. The incident took place Sunday when tens of thousands marched in Washington, D.C. in opposition to the newly installed mandate. My tax dollars are going to the police to shut down the roads so these fucking white supremacists can party and have a hell of a time. Where's your mask, cunt? Celebrating their loser president. Oh my god, again, Orange Man's gone. He can't hurt you. And I don't think that was talked about at all. It just seemed like there were some doctors and a washed out NBA player just down there talking about things, and all you can think about is Trump, okay? Listen. Just go out there, go find some Republican dick, and your fucking mind will just get cleared up, okay? And stomped her feet and made an L shape over her head. Oh, really? Did she? That's cute. Go the fuck home. Stop invading our territory. I think that they're probably bigger taxpayers than you fucking sped. I don't know. We aren't gonna listen to any of the sound. I just want to watch the video here because this is fucking hilarious. Oh my god, what are you yelling at? Okay, what the fuck? Stomping her feet like she's 5 fucking years old. Oh my god. What is this? This is your mind. A backwards L, the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, oh my god. How many? Go home and just feed your cats. Oh, she flipped people off as well. She's responding to it exactly the way that she should. And it's like, listen, okay, Sped, just fucking calm down for a minute. Go home, bring in your dogs from outside, and crack open a new jar of peanut butter, and everything will be fucking fine. But that's not the only protest that's going on right now. Okay, there's actually quite a huge one rolling through Canada, and it looks like some U.S. truckers are joining in as well. A big old trucking convoy, exactly the one that fucking disrupted Scott Morrison, you know, the Prime Minister of Australia. It disrupted his whole COVID-0 policy. Thank fucking god, because Canada, I know I don't really touch on it that often, mostly because it's just all fucking depressing and there's no real changes on anything. It's just basically, how do we deal with the unvaccinated here in Canada before all of our gas shows up? Because they're really just talking some real genocidal rhetoric, of course. How do we deal with the unvaccinated? Oh, I don't know, just maybe leave us alone. We'll pretty much deal for ourselves. But you guys are clogging up hospital beds. It's like, no, no, just look at your own hospital numbers, by the way. When have any hospitals hit capacity? Oh, never. Oh, okay, cool. How many people are being hospitalized by this wave? Oh, okay, fewer people. Oh, okay, cool. Again, if you just get your facts straight, you just really would give up some of your power, that your ill-gotten power that you've worked so hard to hold on to over the past 2 years. If you would just reconcile with that, you might be able to figure out how we can move forward from this by just moving forward on it. But let's set the background on this one. Okay, so this started over the weekend. Thousands of Canadian truckers to strike over vaccine mandates, U.S. truckers to join in, following the Public Health Agency of Canada's announcement that foreign truck drivers can only enter Canada fully vaccinated starting January 15th, and the U.S. Occupational Health and Safety Administration announcing similar requirements starting January 22nd for non-U.S. national truckers crossing into the United States. Thousands of truckers decided to protest and will meet in Ottawa in an attempt to stop the mandates. It's fucking retarded, right? Where you're forcing the jab on the truckers, like, okay, just go ahead and run with the bad information that you might have on this one. Okay, if you're unvaccinated, then you just fucking spread, even if you're not carrying it, you're just spreading it out into the ether. Okay, and that you're just a fucking walking holocaust wherever you go. Everybody's just dropping dead next to you. Okay, it's like, these are over-the-road truckers, okay? The only time that they've seen people and the only time that they experience human contact is when they slip a work boot underneath the fucking truck stop stall, and then they just tap twice to make a new friend. That's it, okay? I've worked in many a warehouse. I've worked in many a receiving dock, not like that. And these truck drivers, they work independently. They work alone, okay? They're hardworking people because they're up just methed out of their tree 21, 22 hours a day. Nothing against truck drivers, okay? I come from a long family lineage of truck drivers, okay? Some of my best friends are truck drivers. It's just one of those things where it's like they work alone like 99% of the time, okay? Even when they pick up their trailers, they're already loaded, and it's just like, okay, hook your tractor onto the trailer and fucking pull it, and away you go, and then just dock it when you get there, and then somebody who works in the fucking warehouse is going to offload your truck. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? The most you're going to do is pull out of the fucking dock and sweep out the back of the trailer, and away you go. It's like, why are you forcing them to get jabbed up? It makes no fucking sense, really. Canadian truckers, along with all concerned citizens all over the country, decided to take action and plan to drive towards the Canadian Parliament with the intention of having thousands of vehicles pulling into Parliament and parking there, according to organizers Canada Unity and Truckers United. Yeah, they've been picking up, I think they're starting from both sides of the country. Okay, like, I've seen some pictures and some videos from Nova Scotia as well, one side from BC, which might as well start in the mainland, because starting out on Vancouver Island and down there, that's just useless, because that's NDP, deep liberal country, and they're all retarded anyways, and it's not like there's anybody who works down there. They all just get fucking high and hang out and overdose. That's Vancouver for you. Like if Seattle in depression had a kid. It's a worthless city. I'll never go there. So yeah, they're all just converging, and those motherfuckers are going a far way. But see what happens when they get to Parliament. I think probably later this week. That would make sense. Similar action took place on January 17th when a convoy of truckers posted against the mandates in Emerson, Manitoba, near the U.S.-Canada border. Yeah, but now they're just taking the fight directly to these elected officials that have everybody's best intentions in mind. Yeah, U.S. truckers began to organize their own resistance on Tuesday, following the story, and Epoch Times is going to be following the story. Cool, so I guess we're going to be doing some updates later this week as well. Patty Evers is a business owner in Nova Scotia and the founder of Atlantic Freedom Fighters. Through this pandemic, I've watched our government slowly destroy our economy, mental health, and future stability of the country. Mandates that continue to illegally impose that people have done far greater damage than the pandemic itself. Where's the lie, Patty? Where's the lie? The Canadian government continues to use phrases and words to the Canadian people through the media that incite hate towards people who have decided to utilize their right to say no to a vaccine. Yeah, you just take a look at any of the statements from Justin Trudeau, from his side, or even from most of the conservative opposition that's out there, but we'll get to them very shortly. What do we do to stop this? And when is it our leaders that are doing it? Oh, what do we do when the leaders are doing it? Okay, to paraphrase her. The Canadian people have had enough. At first, we were complacent, but look where the complacency got us. I am so glad some people are fucking noticing this, okay? Took them long enough. Glad they're finally at the spot I was. Whatever. It's not about me. It's about people who are finally fucking waking up. The U.S. organizer is going to create a movement called Nations Unite for Freedom, where Canada and the U.S. join each other to help each other. Avery said, unable to hold in her emotion. Oh, God, don't cry. We hope by doing this that our nations are going to follow the lead and join each other. Yeah, you'd hope so. And yeah, the truckers don't move, the products don't get to the stores, and then you have the everyday person going to the grocery store being like, why are my shelves empty? Well, because the government wants to make truck drivers who, again, outside of the odd hooker that they pick up and tolerate for a couple of hours before they just leave her at mile marker 16, 17, 18, and 19, work exclusively alone. So why are you forcing them to get jabbed, okay? Almost like you should rethink these policies, and eventually it will trickle down to the everyday person. That's why I'm totally for this strike, by the way. Fuck them. Don't care. Make the government rethink their stupid policies, because then they will be affecting more than just a couple of people. But a word from one of the big trucking unions that are out there. Guess what? Yeah, they're simping for the government. No fucking shit. Canadian Trucking Alliance says it disapproves the protest against Trudeau to COVID mandates. Just shut up and get the jab. The rest of us were too bitch-made to fucking protest against it, so everybody else should do is stop complaining. CTA said in a statement released on Saturday that it does not support protests against Trudeau's Liberals' vaccine mandate for cross-borders truckers. Convoy left British Columbia on Sunday and will be making its way through Alberta and the rest of the country en route to Ottawa. Yeah, but they'll be going through the southern part of the country because they'll be going on the Trans-Canada Highway, I would imagine, anyways. So that they're not going to be within 10 hours of me, so I won't even be able to go see it anyways. Trucking Alliance said in its statement that the vast majority of truckers are vaccinated. Yeah, exactly. It's their choice. If you want to go do it, fucking fine, okay? That's, again, my stance and all this stuff. You want to get it, that's fine, okay? You want to take a haircut or you want to get a haircut by suck-starting a shotgun through the inside? Okay, fine, fucking do that too. I don't give a shit the fuck you want to do, as long as it doesn't affect anybody else, and as long as you aren't forcing somebody to do something that they don't want to. It's all copacetic with me. And that's what these truckers are talking about. Stop forcing people to do stuff, okay? Oh, because it always started out, oh, it's just going to be one jab. Okay, and then it's just going to be a jab and a boost. And then you got Fauci down there in the States, and I know we're crossing borders here once again, but this is affecting literally everybody. Oh, now we're going to be talking about another booster because the coverage wanes or whatever fucking stupid shit he uses to justify his fucking position there. Accordingly, most of our nation's hardworking truck drivers are continuing to move cross-border and domestic freight to ensure our economy continues to function. Why would you do that? Go ahead. We've seen some pictures of this convoy getting started, and it doesn't look not substantial, by the way. So I'm sure you're gonna have some help to push this forward, at least for a little while. But you go ahead. Things will start to slow down, and then you'll just start to wonder, oh, I don't know why we won't have anybody to transfer this stuff. Okay, so even if the vaccine mandates go into place, okay, these guys who are also independent contractors, most of them have their own trucks, okay, and driving a truck isn't that fucking easy. And these are non-expensive trucks, by the way, so either they're going to be striking or you're going to be firing them, so you're going to be stuck in the same situation. Then again, what are you going to say? Oh, the pandemic is slowing everything down. The only thing that's slowing anything down at this point are the governments that won't get out of the fucking way. The CTA does not support and strongly disapproves of any protests on public roadways, but it's so unsubstantial that most of the stuff is just moving anyways. That's why we need to make a public statement, okay, and reinforce that everything's just moving on perfectly. Okay. CTA believes such actions, especially those that interfere with public safety, fuck off, are not how disagreements in government policies should be expressed. What, peaceful protests are somehow not the way that people, force government change? Weird. Because I thought it was exactly the opposite. This is just, affecting a government that you're sympathetic to. Members of the trucking industry who want to publicly express displeasure over government policies can choose to hold organized lawful event on Parliament Hill or contact their local MP. We'll tell you how you can protest. It's just not very nice that you're not doing it right now. What is not acceptable is disrupting the monitoring public on highways and commerce at the border. Oh, the motoring public. No, they're just going to be driving down the highway at the speed limit. So again, if you've ever been stuck behind a truck before, you know that it's pretty much AIDS anyway. So whether they were on the clock or whether they're protesting, it's still going to be the same thing. So I don't know what to tell you, and the Trans-Canada Highway has plenty of fucking lanes, so suck a dick, fearmonger. What's our loyal opposition doing? Nothing. Because this is not an opposition, okay? You got old Snack Tray O'Toole here who has the exact same expression on his face, whether he's debating Justin Trudeau, which is just kind of a light term to be using there, or if he's bringing the Gatorade bottle to his wife's boyfriend. It's no fucking different. He won't say if he supports a trucker convoy protesting Trudeau's COVID mandates. You know why? Because here's his statement. I probably encourage vaccinations more than maybe any Canadian. That's our official opposition, by the way. So if you want to know why Canada is so fucked and why from the outside looking in, it's like, why don't you guys fight against Trudeau? Okay, it's because that's who the opposition is. That's who you have to fucking vote for. Either Trudeau's stupid policy or the guy who's like, yeah, well, guess what? It's so stupid. I'm just going to go ahead and double down on his stupidity. I'll show you how dumb it is. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. But again, we had a lot of stuff to talk about here today, so I had to roll both of these topics in on one video. So sorry for it being so long. Actually, I'm not, because it's my channel and I like making long videos. And if you haven't seen to the end of this video, you're not going to catch this rant anyway. So fuck off anybody who thinks that it's too long. That you just like to get all your fucking information from memes, you morons. But that ain't you if you're seeing this anyways. So we're going to talk about a couple of police ambushes, and up next, that'll be the third video. Spoiler, you guys get a little bit of information early, but what we're going to be talking about next is, yeah, a huge Biden policy failure, because guess what? Going back to war, guys, and that's tangentially probably going to affect Canada as well, because, of course, Trudeau just loves chasing after the tail of that 90,000-year-old fucking fossil in the White House. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.